What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another casted game. Today we are casting the first round from the Esoc Spring 2025 Championship. It's the round of 24 featuring Lionheart against Aussie Routeline. This is a best of 7 series. Game 1 is a blind pick. We're on Darfur. Lionheart playing as the Mexico's civilization. Game number 1. Aussie Routeline, his opponent, playing as the Hausa. Game 1-2. Worth noting that the Baja Revolution has been banned for this tournament, so no Baja from Lion. But Central America Revolts, Standard Mexico, Central America to unrevolt to a fast FI, and maybe Aoe3 Revolts to Yucatan or Rio Grande is still on the cards. And I wonder which one Lion will go for specifically, or should I say especially in early rounds. I reckon Lion will be having fun here, showing some creative builds. There's a bit of a gap between these two players in terms of elo, but in a tournament game, you have to play your opponent in front of you. You have to play your best to make sure you secure your victory and your invitation to the next round. Early trading post here for Lionheart. He has built a house back at home? No? Yes, there it is. I was like, where's the house? Hacienda being sent behind. Would check if he goes forward with that or sits back defensively. Let's have a quick look at his deck. His deck's called Rancheros, which is the Cuatreros spam. Probably going to be defensive Hacienda, land grab into multiple Haciendas and spamming the Cuatreros, which is actually a decent idea versus Hausa. Hausa have a lot of units, a lot of low population units, occupy a tight space, and I think the lasso ability from the Cuatreros will work really well in this situation. Said that though, Hausa, we've seen some FI builds them of late. We have seen some, you can just play H2 with raiding cavalry and maybe back it up either with cheap Jav Cav or Fulani archers. So it looks like Lion will be kind of, I assume it's on the defensive here, trying to get these Haciendas built and this kind of build going, and Aussie might have a opportunity to be on the front foot, tear down some of the trading posts. We'll have to see how this game goes on. Hey, Galos saying we'll still win with the Rio Grande. I don't think the Cuatreros and the Rio Grande have great synergy together, but yes, the Rio Grande is still a possibility. And to be fair, the amount of cards you need to revolt to the Rio Grande is 3 Vil Hacienda, 700 coin, maybe a K wood. 700 would most likely in your, it's so fast, that's with tempo. But Lion has gone for Rancheros card number 2 to spawn the Cuatreros. I didn't actually know that this card was called Rancheros or Rancheros. I'm sometimes in half an idea whether you do add in a really shit Mexican accent or you just kind of just say, yeah, I accept I can't do it and just pretend it doesn't happen. Aussie taking Lion's defensive trading post. Interesting. Do see land grab coming here for Lion behind this. That's going to be all your Haciendas are 40% cheaper, unless it is special. No, I see that the village for Chinese is only 30% cheaper, which is a bit of a strange flex there, I would say. But 40% off of 600 resources is about 240, so these will now cost 360 wood, which is achievable. And considering that these produce 3 Cuatreros every 80 odd seconds with 0 gatherers on, I think there's a cow working the fields at the moment. It's not too bad actually. Just like an endless supply of pretty strong outlaw dragoon style units. Trade builder coming in here from Aussie Routeline. Let's have a quick check on his cards. I think he's gone for the Palace builder, a House of Kingdom in transition, which gives him a University builder and a trade builder on the age up. So has 2 TPs. University back at home, that's been put down. I'm going to go for a couple of griots, which I think the griots only just in power buildings. Yeah, empower buildings and boost units. Be annoying. I'm surprised actually the early griot what the plan is. Forward watchtower. Where's this watchtower come from? Is this from the TC? I think there's some way you can train camp builders. I'm actually a bit confused because we age. Oh no, do we age up with a tower? I think we aged up with a tower, didn't? Oh, I'm so confused. We got the Songhai age up anyway. Anyway, forward 5 raiders straight into Lion's base. Love to see this. This location for the Hacienda is pretty poor. Right forward of the TC, out of range of defensive TC fire. But I think Lion won't be too fussed with this. He does have Minutemen available, calling in Salty Doors afterwards. Wood comes in behind. I guess he needs the population space to produce these Quacheros. And the first Quachero from the first Hacienda is ready to pop out. Feels like this is a bit susceptible to a rush, actually. So if Lion can kind of survive a little bit, this looks pretty good for him. But until that happens, bit of a trouble. Yeah, one Quachero already out, second spawning. But we don't have enough resources at all for Minutemen. We haven't prepared any defensive resources, and it's just going to be trying to micro the infantry down with the TC until we have more Quacheros. 5 Salty Doors coming in behind. TC fire working really strong, and double Explorers just adding so much tanking potential. Here comes the Skirms. Skirms are on defensive. Doesn't want to go for the early fight. Wants to just build up a mass before engaging, and Aussie Routeline backing off here, but I kind of feel in the situation. Needs to be keeping on that pressure. And going to go back in for another Quachero spawns, but that's going to get picked off straight away. See how these infantry two-shot killed the Quachero. But, we kind of hope that they would one-shot these guys. They're quite tanky. 225 HP, 20% range resistance. The Lion is now having to kite away with these Salty Doors. Another thing good about Mexico, 4.25 speed, skirms, and the strongest base skirm in H2. Very powerful. Quachero's picking off the raiders quite comfortably. They go down, and these Salty Doors getting some good damage behind on the Desert Warriors. They have melee resist, no range resist, and picked off pretty quickly. Desert Archers also making an appearance here from Aussie Routeline. I think these units are... I used to really like Desert Archers, but they are god-awfully terrible now, I think. Yeah, stats look okay, but they just... their rate of... their animation long range is really poor, and have them grouped up with units like 3-5 range less is just really awkward to kind of have a good synergy here. They have a decent short bow animation, but without, you know, they're the same multipliers as the heavy infantry as the fluent archers. I don't know. I'm not feeling them. I don't think they're that great. Infantry come in. Griots available. Can the Griots get a stun on some Quacheros? I know it uses the stun animation, but I think it actually is just a reduced rate of fire, but it's quite useful. TC Fire is trying to focus down the Griots. I'm not too sure that is the right play for it. Quachero spams continue to evolve his fire on the field. No Minutemen just yet here from Lionheart, but potential for a decent trap. He's actually now going for Tlaxcala villagers, which is going to be... oh my god, that's going to be that's going to be a 16 villager shipment here from Lion. He's just gone up to 34 vills. The only problem is he can't even micro where these vills are going to spawn. They're just walking. They're just walking into the enemy. Lion, they're just walking into the enemy. What are you doing? He gets cut down. 2 go down. 3, 4. Lion has got no clue on what to do with the villager button. Do they fight? Do they dance? What do they do? All he had to do was each hacienda just do that, do that, do that, do that, and just to spawn them in on themselves. Maybe he thought they all came from a single home city shipment point, but that's kind of embarrassing. I'm not going to lie, to run those villas straight in with no greatcoats onto the army. Quachero's got to pick up some reinforcements. Look, lasso ability to massive damage versus most of them. And the split fire behind will pick off them quite simple. Good play there. These skirms from the shipment earlier put in so much work. And now the right shipment has been called. The 3 Chinacos. There's no anti-cav here, and that's what I'm getting worried for Routeline. Needs to be thinking about getting that Jav cav in behind. That has a good synergy with the Desert Archers. Let's look at his position. He's sending in influence. Luckily, he hasn't gone forward. The Griot is dancing the Watchtower, making that work just a little bit faster. Influence at home. Griot is drumming the town centre, but nobody's picking up the influence quits just yet. But what do you even spend the influence on? I don't think it's going to be another Songhai button. And these outlaws actually cost resources. Chanakas do come in on their time push from the Hacienda on the shipping point there. Good play. Outpost putting some damage down, but you can see how the Chanakas, all they're doing is snaring and tanking this damage. They're not actually here to kill. They do a good job of it anyway, but the Minutemen and the special area of effects, big button attack, special effects, mobile ability from the Quacheras get some great spread damage, and that army, where Routline's running around, endless desert archers, is now just down to a handful. Lionheart's got away with a 16 village shipment, even though he deleted 5 of them. The Haciendas will continue to produce behind. Look at that, now housed. There must be a way, maybe, this is where you revolt to Baja California for the free population. Poor Lion, he has to actually build all his houses behind to get to the population spots. 11 Quacheras now out on the map. Siege pretty low. I see if he's looking to take down his trading post of Routeline. Oh, maybe he doesn't. Like, of course he doesn't know. It's 2 TP icon here for Aussie. But I feel that Alliance should be doing right now, unless this affects all cav. Oh, it does. 10% melee armor for all cavalry, so that'd be quite useful. Although there's no real melee damage dealers in this Hausa army. Lion just needs to be aggressive and trade off these Quacheras. They're endlessly coming behind. They're so pop heavy that he needs to constantly be chopping wood for spaces. But these fields could actually be on the Haciendas, producing these units faster, and that might be a better way of kind of investing those villager time. Baja is banned, yes. I'm just saying that conceptually you could revolt to Baja. I think Central America as well. I don't think Central America gives population space on the revolt. I could be wrong on that one. But some revolts in the game do and some revolts don't. And one of them which does give population space is the South Africa revolt, where all your houses turn into trek wagons. And it's just... It's so underratedly OP. It's great when you got no houses. It's great when you got 5 houses. It's great when you got 20 houses. It's a strange one. Looks like Lion is queuing up the resources to get to the 3rd age, so he's using his haciendas to defend himself while all the villagers are kind of gathering to get to the next age. His market, I love how the market, he's got himself greatcoats, but he hasn't actually, and gang sword, but no hunting dogs just yet, even though with 20 villagers on food, you would think it's a bit of a good idea to get those great dogs? Hunting dogs in there. I'm still thinking of the greatcoats. Agent coming in. Picking the right one, going up with Sonora. DLC enjoys being able to tell you which age up that is. That could be a wood age up. He's still gathering food and coin, and that could be enough resources for a quick pivot into a Yucatan revolt. I feel having all these haciendas has a great synergy with a Yucatan revolt, and then be able to send in the hacienda advanced trickle card, which gives all these basically mini factory status. So I kind of think that's where we're headed next. Would like to see a saloon though, unless Quacheras Shadow Tech without the need for a technology from the saloon. I know that all the other civs, I recently checked, you have to pay 250 wood, 250 food, research folk heroes to allow shadow teching of units throughout all the ages, age 3, 4 and 5. So I'm not sure if Mexico needs that. I know that they have a glass bottle for 600 resources to increase the recharge time. No, decrease the recharge time of their special ability. But all these have got their big their special ability back. So you just have to right click, maybe on the Yoruba legendary warrior. Get onto them. Yoruba legionary warrior. I can't even speak today. This is terrible. And spread that damage out. I was worried that he'd put it all onto his 25 HP explorer, which would be rather disappointing if that was the case. Age up in. Card ready to go. But what would the card be though? What would you... Obviously he has no card in the 3rd age. It will be into revolt straight away. But what revolt would he go for? There is some wood on the floor. There's some XP as well. Unfortunately, he hasn't actually put the age up crates to a back hacienda for him to safely gather. It's awkwardly forward. And if Ozzy sees this, he might camp it. He should still feel pretty comfortable. Oh, Wild West comes in. I think that's like the same technology, but also with a plus 10% consulate bonus on Outlaws. That might only be for age 4. No, it's just 20%? Why is that so poor? I swear that's much poorer than it should be. Yeah, Peacemakers is like the consulate's bonus. It should be. I feel that this should be much strong. Should have been 25 attack at least there. Maybe rounding errors. No, I don't think so actually. Probably is only just 20%. Strange one. Just see how all these units here in a bit of a concave, they're getting some big damage. So Lion needs to retreat and wait for that big button to... it's not big button, it's a special ability to recharge. That's where the real damage comes in. Another Ville gets picked off. Fort comes in. It's actually sent a Fort from the home city, not looking to get the Revolt in just yet. I guess the Fort is to kind of cover the base, but the base is so wide, it's so sprawling that actually, what is the impact of the Fort here in this game? Lion trains some giant grens from the saloon. Triple Musk roll. It's quite unlucky actually, but I don't think that really matters. Islanders would be better situation. So still needs just to keep on rolling with the Pachoros. Oh, is he just trying? Oh, he's going for a cheaper revolt. I don't know why. I don't know why you'd send that for just a single revolt. I don't imagine he's going to try and unrevolt back to age 5 or to Yucatan if he's going to go that way. I don't think it's going to be a Rio Grande way. He does need to move some coin around. So what would have been good was to not actually train those giant grens. Bill's still on the silver mine. Also, it's worth noticing that synergy with the Taxcala villagers. 16 villager card that was we counted when it came in. Would have a really good synergy here with Yucatan more. The fact that you still keep your villagers on the Yucatan revolts and trade some really strong insurgents. I feel like Ozzy would be run around quite cleanly if insurgent spam came out here from Lion. Villager count doesn't look strong either. 39 vills in total. I think he's also sent in his own villager. There's no villager card in this second age here for Hausa at all. Just some cattle. They act as extra vills though. And the revolts to Yucatan has come in. Confirmed. No immediate push. Don't need to. It's the economic revolt and Lionheart. It's strange because he's got to this situation. He spent a card for a cheaper revolt, but now he hasn't got the card in the revolts. And until cards come in, there's nothing special about this situation that Lion finds himself in. Pacharos do not get any stronger. Didn't have Cav combat in the third age. That would be a nice card to boost your Pacharos, but decided against it. TP is going to go down. Oh, he used a Red Sea Wagon earlier on for Haciendas. Wow, that's a big play there from Lion. Getting the early Sudanese train post, getting Red Sea Wagon for +2 Haciendas on the cheap. Even with the land grab, that's still a nice way to get that. It's worth noting, I think when these Quattros spawn, they don't actually provide XP. No, they don't. No XP at all. This is why Lion's shipments progression is kind of stalled. He's not actually making anything. A couple insurgents are now being created. That is the unit to go for in the revolt. Everything kind of centers around this, and they do have their own special lasso ability. 2 Falcons moving forward. That was trained from the fort. Yes, good use of the fort there in the end. You can see what Lion's trying to do. To get massive volleys onto the Desert Archers, but now Jav Cad's going to go straight onto the Falcon. They might get the Falcon kills, but they're going to take some big damage. One Falcon's still alive. 10 insurgents, but they come from the fort. There isn't actually any of a production facility here for Lion. He's not really training resources. Remember, he still is not sent in a single card in the revolt stage just yet. Giant Grens in the back doing some big damage. 36 with area 2. And actually, if the plan is just to have units in front tanking, it's working really well. But once he has enough units to batter his way through here, Lionheart's army is crumbling. He's now sent in the economy card for the Hacienda. Yeah, trickle of 0.5 all resources for each Hacienda. So, quick math, that's 3.5 food, 3.5 wood, 3.5 gold. Basically, a fully upgraded factory and more on this card, which is really strong. He just needs to be able to spam stuff, though. He's not actually making Quatraros here from the saloon. And it feels like we've got a lot of vills and food, but they need to find a mine and kind of work through it, or at least get back onto Hacienda and help the training of the Quatraros. King of Osmane, what did the revolt do? Well, the revolt allows you to revolt to Yucatan and gives you Yucatan insurgents straight away. That is the bonus. And the revolt itself plays around the idea that your Yucatan insurgents are pretty decent. All your settlers into 2 insurgents, Plan and Merida, that's pretty nice. That works well if you put all your haciendas onto villager production. You have reservistas, insurgents with muskets, so they now have a ranged attack. They're pretty good. That's kind of turns into like state militia style units. There's a knife card, but I think that was in Age 2. Nice raid topside. Jungle warfare, poison attack while attacking as well, and Lions train revolutionaries. I don't know why he's doing that. That is not the unit to go for. This is the unit 1, Yucatan insurgents. 70 food, even cheaper. They're even better. They're just so good. Lion's not used to a Yucatan revolt. He's kind of unsure what to do and how to play. I have a feeling he's hoping for somehow a revolution out of this into Maya, but I'm not too sure he's got enough momentum to carry him through. I think he's just doing this for the memes, but if he's wanting to finish this in at this age, he'd be trained units. He is waiting for the Maya unrevolt. Revolt. Second independence succession, I think, is the technical correction here. Routeline, the score's still fine. He's still taking map. He's now securing top resources, the gold mine and the hunts nearby. Give him the credit. It's going quite well at the moment. However, he's forgotten that his livestock market exists, both at 100%. So definitely trade off some of your sandcastles into wood and gold, just to allow that market to constantly be recharging for the value. Sometimes eating some of these cows would be quite useful as well. But if Routeline kind of jumps to the 4th age, potential for Habanya, big card return value there. We're at about 3.5k, but if we send in Red Fulani cattle first, build a couple more livestock markets, we could overpop of like 5,000 influence plus, and that would be a very strong play for Routeline. He does have the economy to, yeah, and the gold in the cattle to basically jump to the 4th age if he wants to. Nice little raid here. Gotta go into the vills. Lion has revolted back into Maya instead of, yeah, he's revolted to Maya instead of getting into. I can't speak instead of clicking the H5 Mexico option. Right, he's in Maya now, which this is pretty decent because it's the equivalent of the H5 Imperial age. He's now training in Kruzov infantry, which I believe are guard units until he sends in Can Santa Cruz, which gives the Imperial Kruzov upgrade. These guys are incredibly strong. They are basically one of the best infantry in the game. Really strong as well. Good cost. 80 food, 30 coin. His first card is going to be... Oh my god, what's this? Each existing and newly constructed hacienda spawns 3 villagers. 3 native vills. What's the build limit? Oh, they share the same build limit. Okay, fine. Well, that there was a 21 villager card, folks. 21 vills. 21 villagers, and he can then go into 12 villagers afterwards. Oh, he can't actually train any vills at the moment, but he has to send that card for him to train vills. He's actually upgrading refineries! That's so expensive. Unless his upgrades for the haciendas are free. Oh no, that's probably what it was. That trickle card in Yucatan probably made those upgrades free. Yes, Lion has 52 vills and 37 of them are from 2 shipments. Thank you, DLC. I would say that although this showcases some different aspects of lines of inquiry that Mexico can go for, this isn't the strongest play that Mexico can go for. I'm quite happy to kind of state that as a pretty easy known fact. Anyway, the problem is, for Aussie Routeline, and I'm not too sure if Lion realises this, is that his Quatreros are now age 5. Thanks to his folk heroes, he's now getting into Peacemakers for an extra 10% combat stats to kind of get that Royal Guard status. These are Imperial Outlaws, and you might as well keep on spamming Imperial Outlaws while you can. You'll trade so effectively versus anything. Look, age 2 Jav Rider, 160 HP, 10 attack. High rate of fire, yep. But the Quatreros is 450 HP with a 42 attack, and their special ability adds a 2 area of effect and a lasso ability, which I think snares? Yeah, snares them down if they've been hit by the special ability. Yeah, I've just realised that's a good point actually. Lion's line of sight hasn't even crossed half map, realistically. Okay, you might have walked in there and seen a couple buildings which then illuminates the next building, which then illuminates the next building, and you can see how it's just triggered a line of like, oh, this is actually what this person has. But now he's finally crossing half map with a military unit for the first time at 26 minutes. We give him, yeah, round of applause. Round of applause. Get on. Aoe3 Falcons. He's still got any age 4 Krizob infantry. He's probably looking to get into Imperial Krizobs soon after. But look at the native cards as well. Native Warrior Combat, Blood Brothers, Native Treaties, Native Warriors. There's a lot of native cards he can go for to kind of boost them up even more. There's just so much random cards in here as well. What's this? Researches ships chest of coin for every shipment sent so far as well. A 2,800 coin shipment. Doesn't matter what point of the game this is, that's a good card. That's a good card. Deforestation being teched. Where's that being teched from? Is that the town centre? Huh. I guess there is no capital building on the revolt status here for Mayor. It's just all in the TC. I bet he hasn't even... Oh, he has upgraded full wood. Oh. I love how Lion has researched Imperial wood chopping, but only has 4 people chopping wood. 1.05 wood per second. Card ready to go. What would he send? He could send anything he wants at the moment. He might send in the light cannons. Where do they come from? No, he's just out of pop. If you want me to pretend there's tension here, I can, but unfortunately, age 5 outlaws with Krizob infantry with multipliers versus heavy cavalry melee. I suppose not versus light cav. Pretty good actually. Aussie Routeline gets to the 4th age. Does have the Yoruba Isotami. Does have a lot of Fusiliers behind these. Would have bought with influence, I guess. So, did Aussie call in Habanya? He has called in Habanya. The Fusiliers have allowed him to kind of win this fight, but would he win the war behind this? I kind of doubt it, unfortunately. I love it how Chichi's now gone down. The Mexican / now Mayan general has dropped down with the flag in the base. That will get captured. So basically this flag can get planted anywhere in the map now. Pretty big bonus for him. 5 griots, 5 vills coming in from Routeline behind. 39 villagers still. He has lost a couple and slowly transitioning to slow fields. Only 1 livestock pen, and most of these were exchanged. Yeah, so I think Aussie sent in Habanya straight away instead of the 13 castle. No, you might as well say 13 cattle twice. I wasn't overly paying too much attention. Anyway, field cannons and Krizob infantry for Lion at the back. Will Lion send in age 5 Krizobs? He's just spamming. He's just spamming from 3 racks now. So yeah, Musk Falk again for a civ, for a bunch of natives. Probably shouldn't have Musk Falk, but yep. And probably one of the strongest Musk Falcons you can get. Actually, they're very good. Oh, he is actually sending 12 vills. I mean, it's not the wrong play to send in 12 vills. It's still a good card to send in. Just need to think about getting our age 5 stuff. So yes, we're on field cannons. I think this is the highest tech they could go in this age. I don't, unless there's an artillery card specifically. There's rockets here. 4 red coats, 4 rockets, 12 red coats. Significantly improves light cannon HP. Wow, that is a great card. That is. Definitely get that sent next. Yeah, four rockets. 4 rocket card. I'll pay 4 rockets. I'll pay 1500 wood for 4 rockets with a normal civ. Let alone the fact you get red coats and then a really decent boost on your field cannons and an extra multiplier versus other artillery as well. It's a decent card that is. I'm kind of waiting for Lion just to finish this game off a little bit. It's a bit. Come on. Yep. Yes, you're in age 5. Congratulations. Let's walk in. Yep. And some people say that the best part of how the gameplay in total is their field cannons, and the fact that Mayan have access to these as well, and you know, real strong Chrysobs. The Avenger unit as well, the Skirmisher, is underplayed. It's a unit which people don't really add in. You can also add in the Mayan Hulk and Javeliners. They're a 0 pop build limit. Forward Cathedral being built from Lion. That's to heal. That's to heal the army. No, it's a build and repair. Oh, it's still cheese though. It's still like. It's the first time he's got a cathedral out of this game, isn't it? Yeah. 7 houses. He's going to get Holy Mass, Dia de Muertos. One of these is going to give like 30 odd pikes because he's built so many buildings or something. Counter push. I like the idea of the counter push, and Fusilier spams really nice, but he's now going to face even more Chrysobs back at home. Yucatan's come out from the Hacienda from the Advanced Church, and Lion's going for a bit of a stroll. I swear Chrysobs ran at 5 speed, but I must be dreaming of something else. They're not being drag boxed with the field cannons, no. Oh, come on, Lion, I want to get out this afternoon. It's nice and sunny outside. Big volleys on top of the Fusiliers. Yeah, big damage, and the melee going behind. Going to run in front of the Mayan Citadel as well, and he needed to get the victory done with this army of Fusiliers, but hasn't quite managed to achieve. Going to get cut off from going to retreat, and surely Routline's goose has been thoroughly cooked. Not just to well done, but to maybe burn a bit crispy as well. That army has been decimated from the sides. Another tech for Lion. I don't know what he sent, but in the end didn't go for Imperial Chrysobs. Didn't need to. The game was called GG. Of course, it's a 3,200 coin crate card. That is so crazy. Oh, game 1 for Lion, and I'm expecting to see more of these games as the series continues. But yeah, could have ended like 25 minutes ago on the Yucatan Revolt, but Mayan does secure it off quite nicely with the very strong cards that you get at this point, and good stuff. Lion wins that game. Let's have a quick look at the post game. Villager population, yeah, pretty fat for Lion. Didn't need to make anything didn't need to make any more vills, as he was too busy housed and spamming Quacheros from the Haciendas, and then once it got to the Revolt, sent in a 21 Vil card, and then was just mass producing Vils from the Haciendas, and another 12 villager card comes in, takes his Vil count to 82. Probably Vils he clicks the button for in the town centre was up until 18 Vils, everything else just came out because of Mexico. Military population hard to read because of the outlaw populations, but I think some of the trades that Lion was getting was very good considering his area of effect, outlaw dragoons, defender's advantage, and quite the spam ability that Aussie's army was. So a good game. This was Aussie's big power spike, and most of these were high pop outlaws. So although this looked terrible, it was a trade. I mean, it was a trade from a winning position, so it's all fine. Cool. Well, that's game one. Potentially another 6 to go. I'll see you guys on the next game.